Good afternoon, everybody. It's tea time here at Church of the Holy Spirit. One of the things that tickles me about homegrown American people is that they have a lot of them have the assumption that all British people at 4 o'clock every day stop and have tea, as if they all lived in Downton Abbey or something. And of course, that's actually not true. But the truth is, and here's the scoop, British people drink tea like every hour of the day. So wherever you go, at any time of the day, you'll find somebody drinking tea. I know in the case of my parents, the kettle in their house is the most used appliance of all, and it's probably switched on every hour, possibly on the hour as well. So we don't just take tea at 4 o'clock of an afternoon, we take it every hour of every day. That's what we're like. Anyways, today is September the 11th. Somebody just reminded me, and I just thought, wow, September the 11th, a day which will always be remembered by all of us. And I was also told today is the 19th anniversary. And so 19 years ago, we were all sat doing something, and when we saw the pictures on the TV screen, which were most horrifying, the world changed. The world changed forever, and we're still living in that world now. So take time today, if you can, to spare a prayer for the world and for the victims and all the families of the victims, because it's a sobering anniversary for us to be acknowledging. Anyway, moving along, what I thought I'd do today, because I've been here at Church of the Holy Spirit now for 2 months, is basically just to tell you how things are going. I say that because 2 people recently, in recent days, have come up to me and just sort of said, so how's it going? And that follow-up question is, so what have you been doing? So I figured I would give you my impressions after 2 months, and tell you what it is I've been doing and what I'm liking about it and how it's going. I guess I see some of you in passing at church. I see some more of you than others, and because of the whole COVID situation, I'm not meeting you all at once. So some of you at the moment I'm only meeting through this medium, so which I'm sorry about. So at least by telling you this way through this medium, you have a sense of how things are going here in the parish and how your new pastor, is getting along. So how are things going? Well, I think, for me, things are going wonderfully. I'm very happy and I'm really enjoying being here. So is Jonah. We're having a great time. What have I been doing? Lots of different things, I suppose, and I suppose they come into various areas. So first would be like people, meeting people, which I think is the most important activity of a priest, is to engage with people and to little by little build up a relationship. So my focus is on the people, and the people I've met during a day, I try to remember who they are when I go to bed, and I try to remember to say a prayer for everybody that I've seen during the day. That's very important, and I do that almost automatically now. I'm starting to remember certain names of people, and with me, in order to remember the names well, I often try to remember the last name as well as the first name. So there's one person who I intentionally call by the last name and first name, just so I'll get it, and that is Susan Kraft, who I met, and she told me her name was Susan Kraft, and that's how I remember her. It's by the first name and the last name. So you have to devise a strategy, in order to sort of get people onto your radar. So people are most important. The other part that I've been doing, I say, is with groups and with ministries. There's a lot going on here at Church of the Holy Spirit, even when we're not fully kind of like actively open. Not everything is functioning the way it would normally function. But in spite of that, there's a lot going on here, and and I'm enjoying meeting the different ministries and ministry leaders and who's responsible, and learning what it is that they do. And I've been very, very, encouraged and heartened by the level of leadership, I suppose, and responsibility and competence, of course, but then also passion. There's a passion there behind all of the ministries which are exercised here in Church of the Holy Spirit. And so, just to name but a few, really, I suppose one of the central, I see ministries of this parish is the Food Pantry. I don't have words enough to express how impressed I am, really, and inspired I am by what it is that people in the Food Pantry do, what it is that we, as a parish community, are doing in order to give food to the hungry. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And so I think the Food Pantry is great, and so I try to stop by and see them once a week, or in passing stop by. But that's one example. Within my within the first couple of days of me being here, I got invited to be present at a meeting of the Women at the Well, which was a very civilized group of ladies who organized wonderful talks. And to this day, I'm very impressed by how they operate here at Church of the Holy Spirit. What is funny is that they received me with such grace and, everything. They gave me food, pizza, and lovely ginger cookies, which have been homemade, etc., etc. And I left them, and I was so happy. And then the following morning, I got sick. And the poor ladies at the Women at the Well thought it was the food, They thought that maybe they'd overfed me or they'd poisoned me. But in fact, it wasn't them. It was just me. I was just, I think, overwhelmed and nervous and anxious, and it all gone to my belly. And I was sick for a day after meeting the Women at the Well. But I was impressed by what they do. Another kind of ministry group that I've met, which is like crept up on me here in the parish, is the Prayer Shawl ministry. Blown away by that. I'm so impressed. I've already availed myself of 2 shawls or lap blankets to help different people who I know need prayer and need comfort, and I know that they do. The work and the ministry of these people really does bring great consolation to people out there. So the Prayer Shawl ministry, amazing, absolutely amazing. I've met with 2 different RCIA groups, the English one and then RICA, the Spanish one, and I've met them, and again, I was just impressed by, I suppose, the presence and the dedication of those involved in walking with candidates who want to be fully Catholic and fully initiated. And I really enjoyed meeting them. I met with RICA and RCIA. I met with a couple of just different Spanish leadership groups, which I'm still trying to fathom out who they were or what they are. I know they're parishioners and they're involved in ministry, but there's like 2 different leadership groups I've met with there. That was pretty amazing. I've met with various catechists, and everything is just, in some ways, from the groups aspect, I still keep discovering different ministries which are going on here in our parish, and I like it a lot, So groups and ministries, that's one thing which I'm settling into, The other thing is I've been settling into the house, it's a new space for me to live in, and it's me and there's Jonah, and so I didn't come bringing loads and loads of stuff. I try to travel light, so I've been trying to make a home here in the rectory, with what is there, and trying to add to it. It was kind of a funny sight within the first few days of me being here, because all of a sudden on the grass outside the house appeared all kinds of bits of furniture and bookcases, and it looked like we were having a garage sale. But what I did was, I'd gone through the house with Juan, our maintenance guy, and a lot of the stuff which was broken down and needed to be disposed of, we removed. I know from experience that rectories have a habit of accumulating junk or stuff which is no longer useful or used. So if I'm going to make a home here, then I need to sort of get rid of the stuff which I'm not going to use. So Jonah and I are getting there. You know, he's really very much at home in the place. He doesn't bark much, and he sleeps well, and I'm sleeping better than I have in a long, long time. So settling in just to the space and feeling comfortable here and sleeping well is going really, really well. And then I suppose the other aspect is catching up on sacraments. Because of like the lockdown, you know, all parishes throughout the world didn't baptize, didn't have first communions, didn't have confirmations, all those things, weddings. But since we reopened, you know, the staff here has been working really hard to try and coordinate, you know, the sort of catching up with those sacraments. So, so far, I think I've done about 60 first communions. I've got another 40 tomorrow. I've done about 70 or 80 confirmations, and I'm doing them every Friday, almost every Friday, in groups of 20. And I still have got another 2 or 3 masses in that regard. So apart from the regular cycle of masses here during the week and Sunday celebrations, we have these extra celebrations to deal with. And they're going well, and they're all a bit strange because people are masked up and there has to be distancing, and you know, I'm confirming people with like a Q-tip on their forehead, and it looks a bit odd, but we try to do it in a way which is prayerful, and I think most people get quite a lot out of it. I know I do. So we're catching up with that. And then the basic, just the reopening of this parish, that's kind of what is on my mind really, and people being aware or not being aware that we are here and we are open for service and everybody's welcome, in spite of the limitations that we have. So that's the other area, I suppose, is catching up on sacraments apart from the regular run-of-the-mill stuff, and then trying to sort of get the word out that we are open. I've also, you know, done 3 funerals since I've been in the month of July, and I've got another funeral now this next week. So it's the basic running of the parish that I'm sort of slowly immersing myself into, and I'm enjoying it. You know, nobody's complained so far, you know, so that we're still in the honeymoon phase. The time will come, I'm sure, you know, but I'm liking it, and I'm hoping that you're liking it as well. So so that's what I've been doing, you know, and I'm doing okay, I think. Basic conclusions, my observations about the Holy Spirit Church and the community we have here. Number one is that you're a very warm people. Lots of very warm people. There's warmth here. That stands out above all other things, I think, really. And with that, obviously, the welcome. You are intentionally welcoming, not just of me, but to all people. And I think that's a great charism that you've got going here. At some stage, you invested a lot of time and effort in ministry of hospitality, and you do it well. So, but there's warmth, and you're hospitable, you know. The second thing I suppose I would say about this parish community I've noticed is that you love to socialize, and you love those social events. And I say that because you're all telling me just how much you miss the social events that you have during the year. Everybody, without question, has mentioned the Family Fest, you know. So, and we didn't have it this year, and that was something which you really would love to see, Father, because it's the best thing ever. And so you all love the Family Fest, and I know you love every opportunity to get together and to socialize. I mean, I saw that when you gave me that cool kind of like drive-in welcome party, you know. That was really sort of mind-blowing and great fun. But you obviously like to socialize and to be with each other as a parish does, you know. And so I would say that's an important part of who you are. Hopefully, you know, the Family Fest will return next year. Say some prayers that sooner rather than later, most of the things that we miss about parish life can be reinstated, okay? And the other thing I would say that I learned about you here, is that you like to sing. Somebody told me, and a couple of people have told me just how wonderful your choirs are here at Church of the Holy Spirit, and how you miss the choir, whether you're in the choir or you come to Mass and you sing along with the choir. You miss that as part of parish life. And I understand that, and I get that. Somebody told me that people who are coming from outside into the life of Church of the Holy Spirit, one of the things they notice is that during Mass people sing, which is unusual because in a lot of Catholic churches people don't sing. They just listen to whoever else is singing, but they don't do it themselves. But I get the impression you like to sing, and unfortunately right now we are being discouraged from singing during Mass. So if you watch the live stream Masses, you'll see that, you know, we have a cantor or a musician playing, but the people aren't singing, and we're not encouraged to sing for obvious reasons, for reasons of hygiene and sanitation. But I seem to know that already, without actually seeing it in action, is that the Church of the Holy Spirit is a community that sings, you know, and as St. Augustine says, you know, he who sings prays twice. So I look forward to singing along with you sometime soon. Anyway, I'm aware as I'm talking to you about, you know, how my last 2 months have gone, I'm aware of the distance, and I'm aware that, you know, there's a lot of people out there in this parish who are still scared to come back to church, and who are feeling very much the effects of what we're going through in the world. And I'm with you, and I know what you're feeling, and I understand the distance that you experience, and how necessary it is for you at this time. As I say, I'm only meeting people little by little because of it, you know, and I look forward to meeting you all in person. But I do want to say that, you know, the door is open here at Church of the Holy Spirit, and if you want to meet with me in person someday, we can do it and socially distance, and I'll have my mask, and if you want to meet me in the flesh and talk, or just tell me what you're thinking, or then I'm available to you, okay? And also to let you know that we're very blessed to have lots of volunteers here who are involved in the reopening of our church, and so we have lots of people who sanitize our buildings and spritz and check people in, so that when we celebrate Mass here, it's done in a very kind of careful and hygienic way. And so if you're thinking about coming back to Mass soon, you know, then you're most welcome. And I just want to reassure you, you know, that you'll be as safe as you possibly can here with us, you know, and we're doing everything we possibly can to celebrate in a way which keeps us all safe as well. So just to mention that anyway, because I know that we're all slightly disconnected, and the main point of me doing these little episodes is to reach out, okay? Finally, just to tell you what I'm doing tonight. Tonight I'm going to meet with the youth group. There we are. You know, somebody said to me when I told them that the other day, they said, do we have a youth program here? They didn't know. And maybe you don't know, but apparently we do. And so tonight I'm having my first meeting with the leaders or representatives from our youth group, and we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm looking forward to meeting them. I've done work in the past with young people, and I look forward to working with them here in the future as well. But surprising, right, that not everybody knows what's going on here in their own parish. There you are. So anyway, having mentioned that, next week I will tell you how my meeting with the youth went. And then I will also expand on that and tell you a bit about my history of working with young people in the Catholic Church, and what my ideas are about youth ministry. Hopefully that'll be interesting, and it might provoke some conversation. And I'll also invite the youth group members I'm meeting tonight to tune in and to listen to what my thoughts are. Okay? So anyway, that's the end of my my bulletin for this week. Jonah is on the floor asleep. Jonah, do you want to come and say, come on, come and say good afternoon to the people, the good people of Church of the Holy Spirit, okay? And we'll be seeing you all again this time next week, and if not before, you know, and we'll see you in Mass if possible during the weekend. But for now, be joyful, keep the faith, and cheers. Have a good afternoon. Bye. Hey.